Ring slings. I have a couple on hand. One has a long fixed shoulder, it's a Babylonia. I have another with a plain old gathered shoulder. And I have a DIY from a Spotlight tablecloth cut down the middle for the princely sum of $10 plus rings, which were another $10. And I really like having this on hand because it's a great tool for parents who think baby wearing is expensive or has to be expensive. They can check out this fabric, they can see the way it gives in the hand, they can look at the sling rings, they can see how they've been sewn in with 4 rows of straight stitching, and if they feel that this is something they can do, they have access and they go home and say, yeah, I can do this myself, or they can get some help in our group about choosing fabric and obtaining rings. I really also like this for demonstrating because it's stripy and the fabric has a right side and a wrong side. So when we get up to the bit threading through the rings, you can really say, oh, the fabric's folded over the rings, and you can see the right side and the wrong side. I also have a woven which doesn't have such a clear right side and wrong side, but the stripes do still help people work out that top rail from the bottom rail, so that when they're threading through, it's easy to make sure it's not twisted. When I'm teaching ring slings, I teach a straight, boring, regular carry with the fabric flat across the back. If baby is really small or the parent is having trouble with the fabric slipping over their shoulder, then I may also teach it with a twist in the back. Most people seem to find that a little bit difficult, and so it's my second option rather than my first option. Sorry, I'll start again because I did that without talking. Just like using a woven wrap, I'm grabbing the top edge of the wrap and I'm working with the edge as much as possible. It just means there's a lot less risk of bunching. Top edge goes through both rings, and then I pull down quite firmly because straight away I'm making this quite snug around my body. Again, less adjusting, less fold hazard. Top edge, pull the rings apart, top edge through, and then work the rest of the fabric through. Whoops. Straight away it's spreading the rings, so I'm not going to spend more time fluffing around here adjusting. It's done, which is great. Just like with our woven wrap, we're going to think about where baby's bottom goes, and this is another good point to ask parents to pick up their child. Whether it's their newborn baby that's going to be high and they go, oh, okay, that's where I want the sling to go. I want the sling to hold my baby in my arms there. Or their older child, older baby, where they're thinking, no, I'm more used to having baby on my hip now. Okay, so that's where the sling wants to go to hold baby. So with that in mind, I'm going to adjust my sling. And I'm just going to bring that pocket down to where I want baby's bottom to go, because that's where the sling needs to sit. Just like our woven wrap. I'm going to tuck baby's leg behind me a little bit because I've suddenly decided this is a hip carry, and pull the top edge up just like my woven wrap. I'm already pulling that slack forwards, so all the excess fabric on my back, gone. Don't know about that leg, but we'll sort that out in a second. I'm holding the slack here with my hand, and with my left hand I'm going to pull out away from my body to unlock the rings, and then reinforce that folding idea, folding the top rail back over itself. We're never pulling straight down, we're folding back over. Grab the next little bit and do the same thing, outwards to unlock the rings and across. And sometimes if you give people words for that idea, it just helps them remember exactly what they're doing. Baby's secure. The legs are a bit interesting. And I'm just going to sort my bottom rail out. So I'll pull that forward a little bit. Oh, okay, my seat's happening. My doll doesn't have knees. There it is. Into the other crook of the knee and around. So we've already got a seat. When we sat baby on that bunched rail, we made their seat. We don't need to mess around pulling any fabric up between us. It just screws with the tension of the wrap. From there, a lot of people ask about breastfeeding, and I say, yep, not a problem. We can just bounce down a little bit, and you can see baby's in a pretty good position there to latch on. If you would like a tummy to tummy carry, then you're just going to start with your rings out a little bit higher and push baby down more towards the center of your body, which we can do a little bit like this, or it's easier to do from the beginning, but you guys already know that. Ring slings are fantastic for front and side carries, and I found mine to be useful up to the kind of limit of 15 kilos that most manufacturers advise. Many people find them less comfortable before then just because they are an asymmetrical carrier, but they're pretty good until that point. Get baby out, one hand on baby, loosen the carrier, and you can either lift it up over baby's head, which is great if you've got back issues because the baby stays on your body. You can lift baby out, but there's a risk of getting tangled. That's your ring sling.